We need episode 2. Can we get episode 2 over here? Because
I'm not the production boss. You got to ask Boss Frank on that one.
Frank, I'm looking in the camera. Looking at the camera at you, Frank.
Welcome to Tread Talk, the official podcast of Fury Tires, where rubber meets the road and off-road. Coming up, host Jason Hempy sits down with one of YouTube's biggest up-and-comers in the truck culture world, Alex Rubis, better known as thatwide.bowtie, to talk everything truck culture and more. You don't want to miss this. Here's your host, Jason Hempy.
What's up, Alex? Welcome to Tread Talk.
Thank you.
How's it going, man?
Living the dream.
Living the dream. So is this your first time at SEMA?
First time at SEMA, first time in Vegas. Never been, my first time coming really west. So I'm from Atlanta, from like southeast area.
Right.
First time past Houston, and I'd been with Fury before Houston, Austin for the rally. First time I'm just trying to get my bearings together being this far west, you know.
Have you done the full tour yet, or?
No.
No? Okay, wow.
Haven't been out past 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow, you're being a good boy.
I'm not a drinker, not a gambler. I'm working more than anything.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, this is obviously the place to get footage. On that note, you are a content creator, videographer.
Yes.
What's your Instagram handle?
So Instagram, YouTube, at thatwide.bowtie. I have a truck and it's wide and it's a Chevy. It's a bow tie. So I guess most people don't realize that the Chevy emblem is technically a bow tie. So that's where the name kind of comes from.
Yeah, I think most people watching this should hopefully know that. I would imagine.
Hopefully, yes.
So let's, Fury obviously has a pretty big reach and audience, and there's probably people that aren't going to know who you are or what you do. So kind of like describe what you do typically for your channel and your content, like what kind of videos and just in general what you do.
So I guess everybody starts with some kind of a dream that they're chasing, right? So I've actually been doing YouTube 5 years this month, and I just kind of started because I wanted to make videos, and I had always just kind of had this idea, if I build a name for myself, nobody can take a name from me, right? And I just, hobby turned to a passion, turned into a passion. So mainly truck stuff. It's really turned into travel vlogs and just anything lifted trucks. Now, obviously, my channel's geared more towards Chevys and bow ties and GM stuff, but I'll film just about anything at this point. So I do really enjoy fishing and cooking and outdoor stuff, but, depending on the algorithm, most of it's truck stuff, yeah.
So what did you really, first, how did you get into, because obviously, having a good eye is a natural talent, but do you have like a background in video or anything, or that just sort of happened? Or
Growing up, my dad used to try and take pictures of me all the time when I was a kid, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I would cry, and I was one of those kids. And I guess I'd started an Instagram page for my truck. Right. And I had met, shout out to JW Montoya and Dalton Bertrand. I got to show some love to them. Those are the two guys that got me into YouTube originally 5 years ago. And they convinced me one night in the middle of the night, we were playing Xbox, and they said, dude, you have to start a YouTube channel. You have a lifted truck. Just post something. Right. So that one night, I just posted some little, almost like a reel before reels were even a thing of the truck, and just posted it that, content coming soon. That
was your truck that you already had?
Yeah. So I had just started. It's a 2014 Chevy. It had a McGoy's kit on it. Shout out to McGoy's. I love McGoy's. Had I think some Hostiles at the time and some Nittos. And I'd started an Instagram page, didn't know what I wanted to do with it, and they convinced me to start the channel that night. Right. And that was late 2018, and ever since then, I've just been kind of addicted to it. It just kind of snowballed into more, and that's I'm gonna go off on a tangent. The piece of advice that I'll give anybody for content creation is make your first piece of content and don't stop.
Consistency is really truly the key too. What's your posting schedule now? Is it in advance, or you just you try to post as much as possible?
Mentally, I'll get to a point where if I'm not creating something every 2 or 3 days on YouTube, it's gonna start making me anxious. So I have a mental clock of that I need to post. I've done the daily vlogs. I think my record for daily vlogs is 140 days, which by the end of it, I was ready to never touch a camera again. So I wouldn't recommend doing anything like that. But I would say two videos a week, which would be 20, 25 minutes a piece. So, you have to find that happy medium between, do you want to make a full hour-long movie, or do you want to put out 7 pieces of content that are 10 minutes a piece? You kind of just have to find what works for you. There's no blueprint to it,
So you mentioned also lifestyle, so cooking, and that's just another passion?
I'm a big I'm a big fisherman. I used to. Anybody that's fan of the channel knows I used to wear Bass Pro Shop hats religiously. Like I used to sleep in them. Like I would just wouldn't even take the hat off at night, just go to sleep.
Right.
And so guys like the YouTubers like the Guggen Squad, that's based out of Dallas now, and there's guys from my area like Fishing with Norm, and Fishing with Yak Pack. I don't know. I feel like I do so much truck stuff all the time that I don't want to watch it at home. You know, all of my buddies that film truck content, I love them to death. Yeah. But it's hard for me to sit down and watch the same thing that I post all the time. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's understandable.
My way to unwind is to sit down and watch somebody fishing or cooking. You know, just something like I'd love to do. I like traveling in general, so that's kind of where it goes.
I guess you'll have to give us your separately from tires top 3 best fish recipes as well.
So I can't cook though.
Oh,
I'm a eat out every night kind of guy.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A. That's my. Anybody that knows me is Chick-fil-A 6 days a week. The Chick-fil-A around the corner from the shop. I don't even order anymore. They just know me by name, and I come put my card in, and that's it. So, don't ask me to cook. I'll watch it all day long, and I'd love to do it, but.
So even though you go fishing, you don't do any
Not really. No, I love seafood. That's I'll eat any kind of seafood. I'll eat fish all day long.
I think that's a great potential future video series right there.
Yes.
Figuring out how to gut fish clean.
Yes.
You know?
I started a side channel called Chef Bowtie one time and only made like 5 or 6 videos. And I just, I feel like I should have kept with it because, the name was fitting and it just, I don't know.
You need like an actual Chevy bow tie.
Yeah, get like a big
legit,
apron with like a big bow tie.
Go like full ridiculous with it. That's what I think.
I wanted to, and I don't know. Between working 10 hours a day, traveling on the weekends, and filming, and I don't want to take away from, I haven't made it to where I want to be yet. Plug myself. I got just as so we can look back at this moment. I got 61,700 something right now, right?
Right.
So when we look back, hopefully I'll come back next year.
And you'll have a cooking channel.
And maybe I'll have a cooking channel, and maybe I'll have a couple more subscribers on the Bowtie channel at that point. But I'm not the most famous person in the world, so I really want to put as much as I can into that one goal and dream that I have. So it was taking time away from it.
Speaking of viewership, what's been the let's say for a year ago, what was it to now? Like how many?
So I feel like I went through a point in 2021 where it seemed like no matter what I posted, it would get 10,000 views.
Okay.
So like right now, my channel, humbly, I would say 3,000 to 5,000 views a video, which in my opinion isn't the greatest, compared to what I have. But nobody's channel is going to be the same. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it always varies, and that's why I said post your first video and don't stop.
Right.
Because every other day you're going to see this analytic isn't good enough, this video didn't do that good. You're always going to find a reason to want to quit, and the people that are willing to push through all of it are the ones that are going to be successful.
Well, we actually had this conversation with, I can't remember exactly, but we were talking about how each platform separately has its own algorithm.
Yes.
And as a network, like for example, there's so many TikTok trends. I don't know if you're on TikTok.
Yeah.
There's like so many trends, and the way not only the sound that you use, like the just everything about the style. Like now it's like AI narrated with like like
voiceovers and
people, what happens is they get so used to seeing that from other creators that it registers you, I think, as like being part of. So you have to like really stay on top of every single platform, and it's like
you can either be one of those people that chases the trends.
Yeah.
And I feel like, for lack of a better term, there's a fast and easy way to grow, and there's more of a stick to yourself, be yourself, and just kind of thug it out for a while. You know what I mean? Yeah. So somebody like me, where I've never really, in my opinion at least, blame me in the comments maybe, but I've never really like sold myself out for anything. You know what I mean? I've always just kind of done what I felt like, and just kind of.
Your viewers are probably much truer than just getting like having like 40,000 bot accounts.
So like for example, I got 60,000.
Yeah.
If I only get 3,000 to 5,000 views a video, I've got a good solid couple thousand that watch, but I've got a couple shorts that really did well. Or YouTube is shorts.
Right.
I used to do some skits, right?
Okay.
And you do some different characters and stuff, and I have these Daddy's Money skits that I used to do. And it's super easy to tap into. You see a big truck and pretend like your dad bought it for you and that you hate it and you're ungrateful. And I get eaten in the comments.
I was about to say, no one probably got the joke, I guess.
No, yeah. So,
Perfect.
for example,
Excellent. I
two
love
of those
that.
videos have over a couple million views.
Oh, yeah.
And there's
Full hate.
thousands of comments of just, this kid's
100%.
ungrateful and
Yeah.
this and this. And obviously, I'm not like that, right? I have a 2014 truck, but I don't have a truck at SEMA, right? I'm not
Sure.
rich. I'm not anything. I'm still trying to make it.
Yeah, maybe, next year you will have a truck here.
It's,
Work your way, and that's a goal.
I think it's almost more of a, what are you willing to sacrifice to have a truck here, right? So I've seen
Sure.
so much of what people go through to try and get here. There's all the stigmas, right? How many credit cards have you maxed out? There's always the stigmas. You never really. I know that every truck out here is expensive.
Well,
Everybody's
tell you what,
put money in them.
I've had a car here, and it's, not like separately in what I do, a customer's car that we had built, and it was here. It's quite the endeavor to get
Yes.
it here. It's really like, and I'm from Montreal in Canada, right? So
Okay.
where we
That's cool.
built the car, to get that from
Here,
Montreal
yeah,
to SEMA was pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's like, you're talking
coming through customs, coming
3,000
through
miles,
Yeah.
a journey by truck, and you got to make sure the car doesn't get destroyed on,
Yeah,
it's.
I'm sure salt up there is a huge issue too.
Oh, yeah. Well, these cars don't get driven, and
Okay.
you have to have a real, you have to have your, like I have my 06 Accord,
Yeah,
nice and
you
reliable.
gotta have your salt car.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta have the salt car. You gotta have the winter car.
That's
and
just
also,
like being at the beach almost. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I feel like if you live like anywhere that you go to the beach a lot, you gotta have like the beach car.
Yeah, the salt car.
It's your grandmother's like.
I'm never gonna think of it differently now.
89. Yeah. Basically. So.
The guys in Miami, I feel like that's probably just as far as a trip. Shout out to Poppies in Miami. They, the trip from Miami to Vegas is probably a nightmare. I think it's like a 2 or 3 day trip.
That's exactly what it. That's like if Florida, Montreal are basically
Both.
right under each other.
Are you like more Toronto area?
No, like Montreal is even further east.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's like Montreal is like a few hours from New York.
Oh, okay.
So it's like right above New York. So it'd be like picture driving from New York to Las Vegas.
What's the what's the cold like up there?
Cold is we have snow already, so
No good. Not for me.
I was joking with Andy one time, and we were talking about just like there's like because we have the summers are actually pretty hot, so like the summers get hot like it's
70s, 80s.
Yeah. Oh, higher than Sometimes we've had like it's rare, but there are like a random 100 here and there. It's super humid, but the winters are outrageous. But you kind of just got to look at it like staying in shape. So you get to shovel like 6 feet of snow on the regular.
Okay.
And
That's
you're
your
still
workout in the
expected
morning?
to go to work, and like school is still on time, and like
The dad bods are not a thing in
No.
Montreal.
You just depending how much beer you drink to offset that or eat.
Yeah.
It's interesting to get a car to SEMA on that note. It really is a pretty big task. Even Atlanta's, it's not close.
Yeah. No.
Transporting a truck, especially a truck, which you probably wouldn't drive, especially once it gets to that level of build.
Yeah, flatbed trailer.
You got a flatbed. You're pulling out with another truck, so now you need the trailer to haul that.
You need $100,000 dually to haul it.
Just to haul
You need
it.
a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 trailer to.
It's
Put
probably
it on.
like, I don't even know how much gas back and forth.
I'm sure $1,000 in gas
$1,000
to get there, probably at
minimum.
least. $200,000 truck on the trailer potentially.
So you're talking like, realistically, after staying here, everything you need, it's like $500,000 endeavor.
Yeah.
Basically, almost.
So how many? So Ed, I've always been like, I wonder. I would love to sit down and talk finances with everybody that has. So the people that go in the burnout pit, are they building this car to destroy it? And
Well,
are they sponsored? Are they
Yes.
paying for this out of pocket? Are the tires free? You never really know.
most of that stuff, especially for shows and spectacles, they're invited drivers, they're sponsored. A lot of obviously the trucks that are here, it's one of those funny things. If you put enough money into it and then have it ready, the last
Other
final
people
steps
will-
you can jump.
T-Pain was out there drifting cars yesterday. I want to throw that out there. That was
There you
cool.
go. Let's do it. Really?
Yeah, T-Pain. Yeah, he's in a Mustang drifting cars. I saw
Really?
it yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's not paying for like the tires or that's just how that is. But yeah, it's I hope one day you get to do it. It's an amazing thing, but
I think I'll have to cross it off the list at some point, but in my own way, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't have the same, I don't know. I've kind of just let things start to happen how they're going to happen, and whatever I just kind of go with it. You know what I mean?
You're here. It's kind of cool.
I'm here at least. Yes.
You know,
I'm happy to be here. I'm blessed to be here.
It's very glass half full. You know, we're
Yeah.
here anyway. It doesn't always have to be with a car, so
Yeah.
or a truck. But hey, man, you never know.
Only until recently did I even put it in my mind that I may hit 100,000 on YouTube. You know what I mean? So I had buddies at home when I first started that didn't think I'd hit 1,000,
Right.
and they told me that. So to be able to get this close and just to be able to, like, the plaque almost would let me, like, I could hang it up. I could hang the camera up and be done if I really wanted to at 100,000, because, like, I feel like I've,
That's a big accomplishment. That's a huge accomplishment.
But obviously at that point you're going to keep going. You're going to keep dreaming. And
I feel like
on to the next thing.
on the note of the algorithms, once you get to that benchmark, you're going to see. I feel like it really gets in there a lot more. You know, it's like you have to just break that certain threshold, and then you get into. It's like that with even Instagram. I remember there was a point in time when we were posting, and once you got a certain amount of followers, a bunch of features got unlocked. Yep. The reels could be longer, or the stories could be longer, and so, well, man, you're not that far, really. I think it'll compound pretty fast.
We'll get there. I've seen, and this is just for me being in it for 4 or 5 years now. It happens some moments sooner than later for others.
Right.
I've kind of just put it in my mind that, I mean, if it's something you love to do, it'll happen when it happens. I'm going to be whether it happened today or 10 years from now, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to still be posting videos anyway.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'm just kind of along for the journey. And I have one thing I've really learned and I live by is trust the process. I'll use high school. Did you play sports in high school?
Yeah.
So do you remember more of the days of sweating in the gym or running on the field? You remember those days during the summer more than you remember games. You know what I mean?
Probably.
So the journey of getting places is what you're going to remember more of. The moment of hitting 100,000 or the moment of bringing your vehicle to SEMA, you're not going to remember that as much. That's a one moment. You're going to remember everything else that compounds up to it.
It's a little scary too when you in general when you hit a certain level. Because like you're fighting and you're not really thinking about it. Then when you get there, it's like,
what do you do now?
Whoa. There's a lot of like.
It's a make or break for a lot of people. Some
is.
people can't keep the same mentality once they get there. A lot of people, and a lot of it's personality. Who can keep the same grind all the time? And it goes back to consistency. Some people hit 100,000 and they're like, okay, I'm done. I don't have to try as hard.
Do one video every couple weeks.
Yeah, exactly. It really
you see it go down really quick. You see it just like.
Depends on who it is. Some people start. It's. The age-old question is, humble, or just who's going to stay the same, who's going to change, and everybody's different. But,
Well, I mean, obviously we all hope to see you continue. I hope you get to 100 and then keep going. Obviously, you're not. And then I want the cooking channel.
I think I'm all right.
I'm a cook. I like cooking.
Do you really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite meal to cook?
To make?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one. Make a lot of Italian food,
like
pretty
Italian.
authentic. Yeah, I'm not Italian, but half of my family from one side was Italian, so I grew up with like a lot of very authentic Italian.
A lot of pasta, like
I don't make like the North American Italian sort of like it's like the legit.
Do you make your own pasta?
I have, yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I got a friend of mine that does. It's the weirdest thing to me, but I've never seen anybody do it. So
right. I like that. I like everything. I try to cook it. I have kids too, so they're super picky. So I have to be like master chef every morning.
Yeah.
Like the blueberry, I have to put it on with like perfect, because otherwise they're having a meltdown. So
I'm super picky too, so I can.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. I could cook for you, no problem.
Yeah.
But yeah. I actually did teach myself how to like gut and like treat a whole fish and like roast it and do all like the whole.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I need to get to that, but I'm not to that point.
Just wait till the first time you scale a fish and you're just taking all the scales off. It's like
I've never been hunting though. I'm not a hunting person. I don't know why. I've never.
Yeah, that I haven't done actually.
It's not my thing. I don't know why. I just never like a lot of the people I work with hunt all the time, and they'll tell the boss man, hey, I don't care. I'm not coming to work on Saturday. It's hunting season.
Being a Canadian, I've never actually shot a gun in general.
Really?
No. Imagine.
I think maybe 2 or 3 times in my life. For me, I'm a big energy person.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring that kind of energy into my, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if we could talk about that on here, to be honest, but I don't know. That's just not my thing.
Yeah. I like the, I think I'd be interested in the art of actual, like, precision. Like, the actual art of it is, like, I think I would probably be pretty into that.
I think we've all gone down just about every wormhole possible on TikTok for things like that, whether it's guns, cooking, just conspiracy theory, all of it.
Sure.
TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the algorithm.
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever they want you to see, you're going to dive into it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then if you watch it for just enough time, then you're
Yeah.
going to get a lot of that.
I've
And it's just constantly like, well, okay. Well,
I've started playing the algorithm backwards, and if I see something so if you watch something for a minute and it starts popping up,
right.
next time you see it, real quick, go
Yeah,
past
get
it.
rid of it.
So then I've gotten to where something will come in.
It doesn't know what to do. It's
and I
having
can
like,
get it back out. Yeah.
no, watch it. I don't
Algorithm's getting played. Who's
who's
running the algorithm
I'm the
now?
boss here.
Yeah, I'm the boss now.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden you're going to start then it'll just somehow know.
Yeah.
That's going to have people, that's going to show you videos of how people are trying to trick the algorithm. It's going to be just a bunch of people. Damn it.
You start
You
getting
want
into
that.
like news, for example. I don't want a bunch of news stuff
Yeah.
like that, so I have to start, getting
Oh,
past
yeah.
that. That'll
Yeah,
scare you.
TikTok is quite the. I'm sure I have never where I am. I don't do the content or anything on TikTok, so I've never done it from the business side or anything. So I don't know what happens on a business account. I can't even imagine. It must just be all the same stuff. Everything just all.
It's getting really, almost kind of like, I don't know how to. It's almost something about TikTok's getting weird to me. I don't know why. Like it's getting like really personal.
Yes.
Very like
Yes.
not intrusive, but every time you download an app now, it's can we track this? Can we track
Oh,
that?
yeah.
I mean, you really have to be careful. And so I went into Whole Foods the other day with a
Okay.
friend of mine, and they have now in Whole Foods where you can. Have you seen this in Whole Foods where they can scan your wrist, and that's how you pay?
How do
That's
they?
a-
What's
that's
you have,
a thing.
Do you have
It's-
to get a tattoo?
No,
or like,
no, it's just I thought they were talking like a chip or something, but it's literally you have the scanner, you hold your wrist over it, and it takes a picture of your wrist, and you pay. That's
So
it.
this is unique on people too, I
Yeah.
guess. Then.
Yeah.
It's like a fingerprint.
But so I asked the guy behind the counter. I said, "Have you signed up for this? Have you done this yet?" And he said, "No." But damn, what did he tell me? He said something about it was the iPhones that used to have the fingerprint on them.
Right.
He said the fact that you gave Apple your fingerprint that's enough information anyway. So now that you think about how much information you've already given,
Oh yeah.
what else is there to do that you could give out at that point? You know,
I mean,
so,
the only thing about that is the irony is when you're doing content or like you're out there, like
Yeah.
so much of yourself is already out there, right? Especially for
Yeah.
you where you're doing so much video and content it's crazy to think about how much of you will exist forever
yes.
versus
It's a blessing and a curse. I have
Yeah.
customers that come into the shop and they almost know more about me than I know about, or they know more about me than I know about them, obviously, but
Sure.
they know more about me than I know about me.
like things they've observed.
They'll
like,
remember, like they'll come in and ask me. I joked about eating Chick-fil-A all the time, and I really
Right.
do. That's my routine.
Sure.
Like I'm such a routine kind of person. If I don't, it bothers me in the morning, and I'm
Right.
like not in a good mood.
Okay.
So they come in and they ask, "Have you had your Chick-fil-A this morning?" Or they'll bring up a video from 3 years ago and
Yes.
say, "Hey, you remember this?" And I don't remember it. But so it's like they come in and man, I know more about you than you know, and they make a
Yeah.
joke about it. But sometimes I have to remember how much of myself is out there. So I used to film at my house a little bit.
Right.
I used to do certain things. There's a lot that I don't put on there now. Now that
Yeah.
I've started, like I got stopped at the gas station a couple times.
Right.
I've been stopped in Walmart, so like as I've been out here at the show, fans have recognized
Yeah.
me. So I mean, it just kind of be careful what you wish for, and the bigger you get,
inadvertent celebrity status.
you have to start moving a little differently because
Yep.
I pulled up to a gas station one night. It was after a truck meet, and there were 5, 6, 7, 8 people out there that were fans of the channel, and they all come running up to my truck before I even get out. And if that was negative energy, we'd have an issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you kind of have to start moving differently and really and it kind of sucks because you don't think about it. You think, no, I'm
true.
still just a normal person. And like I said, I'm not famous by no means, but I've still experienced enough of it to
Yeah.
know you got to switch it up a little bit. You got to start
Yeah.
being a little different, acting a little different. You have an image to uphold.
Yeah.
You can't,
It's true.
if I was a brand risk, I wouldn't be sitting here, but you know what I mean? There's certain people out there that you may not be able to put them in front of a camera. They're going to act crazy, So it's like, you got to really,
Yeah, there's a lot to consider now. There really is, and it's true. It's the I call it the inadvertent celebrity status. I think because
Yeah.
like where I'm from, hockey is a huge thing, right? Like
Yeah.
hockey, in the States too. But I mean, like we're up, like because it's winter half the year, so
Yeah.
like what else are you gonna really do?
Yeah.
So, and I have a few friends that made it to the NHL, and they were,
That's cool.
they're
shout out to them.
2 of them are like they won the Stanley Cup. Like I have like
That's
2,
cool.
yeah. And these are guys that grew up in my little hometown that grew up and became successful, and one became very successful. But like, you're not a celebrity. You're you happen to really like something, be very
Yeah.
talented and very good, but
They didn't sign up to
No,
be a
to-
celebrity, but
and
it's
everywhere those guys go, especially
in your area.
in our area, they're recognized immediately, and it's like it's a
Yeah.
bizarre thing because it's true. Yeah, it's great that it's all positive because they're like popular and they're. But
Yeah.
if it was negative energy, it'd be kind of like freaky when you think about like celebrities that are out there that are hated or like hated
Yeah.
on and stuff. This would be like a pretty scary.
I think about it this way. So I have 60. We'll just round up. Let's say 62. Right, 62,000.
Right.
I'm from Tallahassee originally in Florida, and I grew up going to Florida State football games. And one of their things, and I may think about it incorrectly. I may be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's 84,000 strong is what they say. So that stadium's 84,000 people.
Right.
So I'm just about filling up a football stadium with subscribers. You can't tell me that there's one of those people that would just love to get at Alex for something.
Oh,
you know what I mean? There's got to
absolutely.
be at least one of them out there that if they caught me outside, it's hands on sight. You know what I mean? For whatever reason.
There's always going to be some level of envy, jealousy, those
Yeah.
kind of things. Those are always going to exist. That's where you get the hater comments. I still like I want to see more of those Daddy bought me this truck videos.
I'll have to read you some. We can read some of them on here.
Oh, yeah,
if
I
you want
will.
to.
I definitely want to see.
Because some of them are really good. And what it is
Yeah.
is a lot of people get on there, and we'll get into that. Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna dive
Yeah,
up
yeah.
into that. What I'll say is there are certain things. There's certain things, and I can relate to your buddy in a certain way. I have a shout out Albert Huggins. He plays for the Falcons right now. He's a buddy of mine that
Okay.
plays for the Falcons, and I love him to death. I'm gonna give him a huge shout out. He's a
Sure.
super nice guy. We're only 6 days apart in age, but
Okay.
he plays in the NFL and he's
Right.
got a little bit of fame in what he does.
Sure,
and
yeah,
just
for
same
sure.
as your buddy, I've got a little bit of fame, and we both kind of like envy each other because
Right.
we both want to. You know what I mean? So, I was a kicker in high school, so I wasn't really
Okay.
gonna go anywhere, right?
Right. Well,
And-
unless you were a really good kicker.
Yeah.
It's possible.
But there's certain things that you want to do with your life, and that little bit of, what's the term that you used? The fame, for the fame.
Oh, inadvertent celebrity status.
Yes.
Like inadvertent celebrity, yeah.
That's a byproduct of me liking to post videos. You
Sure.
know what I mean? Now there's always going to be a level of ego in there because you want to see the views, you want to see the money come in,
Right.
which is a different topic. But so everybody wants to see the views and the money.
Well, it's also on that note, it's also a way to fund what you like doing.
That's how you
'cause,
grow,
you can't,
exactly.
not everyone has the means to,
I can't grow without money.
Yeah.
I have to get
part
views
of
to
it.
get money. That's
Yeah.
what I got to do, right? Exactly. So, but because I like posting videos, the subscribers are gonna grow.
Sure.
Fans are gonna grow. I call them the bread gang, is what I call them. My favorite saying is "Let's get this bread," which is kind of shout out the shirt. Bread
There you
gang.
go, Brad Gang.
So I don't like calling people fans or subscribers. So I
Right.
started the bread gang 3 or 4 years ago. Just kind of my
I
thing,
like
right?
that. It's perfect.
So because we get this bread, right? Let's get
Right.
this bread, baby.
Yeah.
So, but it's a byproduct of what I like to do, right?
Right.
So, could I post videos and get 0 views and make them private and just film them to post them? No, but I kind of I've almost gotten to a point where if I start at 0 and I can prove to even one person out there that chasing the dream is worth it and eventually you're going to make it. If I can make it, you can make it. That's the way that I see it.
For sure.
I'm not supposed to be, I'm not Albert. I'm not going to be I'm not a defensive lineman for the Falcons. I'm not the best hockey player in the world. I'm not the most good-looking person in the world. Whatever example you want to use. So technically speaking, an average person is always going to be average, but the mindset
Yeah,
that
but you're
you have-
authentic, though. That's a big difference.
Exactly. The mindset, exactly.
Yes.
The way you present yourself, your
Right.
personality is consistency.
Like, I could tell you, like, I've been in this industry for a long time. I think I've been in this industry for 15 years now, or maybe, something like that. And, I've met so many people over the years, obviously being at SEMA. Like, I know, I could tell, it's the first time we've met, right?
Yeah.
But, I could tell you're an authentic person, and what you're doing matters to you. And that's always going to be important. That's important with anything, like any art. I consider it's a different kind of art, but it's still an art to do what you do, video, content creation, everything.
Yeah.
And the more true it is, because you're not doing it purely, yes, of course, like we said, there's a level of,
You need views, you need money, you need
sure,
that, yeah.
But it's not the only reason. It's probably the least important reason
Yes.
of why you're doing it. So that is important. So
I just want to show people that if I can do it, they can do it. Because I really do believe
Sure.
that there's no reason why I should be here. But I feel like mindset is what's gotten me here. The not going to quit attitude.
But that is the difference between people who do and don't, though.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to
not
make some hard decisions
Yeah.
sometimes. You got to,
Sure.
there's certain things you got to do. And those are the moments that make or break people. And the people that are willing to wait it out.
Oh, absolutely, man.
That's how we get here. That's why we're sitting here.
Yes, sir.
So,
yeah, and even for me, I literally just landed. I just
saw
got off
you
the
walking
plane,
with your suitcase. Yeah.
came straight here after getting up at 5 a.m. with 2 kids and getting here and sat right down right into a podcast and it's just what you got to do, man.
Isn't it such a weird experience to go from being, you said Montreal, right?
Yeah.
From being in Montreal and then you step on a plane and then you get off and you're in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Like in the same 24 hours to be living
well,
that
there
life.
was snow a little bit. It's not it snowed the other day, but there was a little bit of snow as I'm taking off.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden from the direction I'm coming, which would be probably similar to me. No, probably not. But when you're kind of coming more northern, sort of towards Vegas, you go over Salt Lake City and Denver, so you go over the Rockies and everything.
That's cool.
And that is, there's nothing. There's that's one of the most amazing things to see that
absolutely.
whole area because it's there's no one there. It's completely untouched, right? It's just massive canyons and red sand and drifts and there's no one there. You could tell there's absolutely no one there. It looks prehistoric. It actually looks like what you would picture prehistoric times.
Like pre-human.
Yeah, and even from up top, they're not fossils, but they look like giant fossils in a way. And there's you could see massive glacier formations, huge ones, canyons that have formed, and and it coming from the juxtaposition of snow and you said,
So I spend a decent amount of time in Miami with the Poppies guys.
Right.
It's really weird for me sometimes to go from being at work all day and being in my normal life, and then I hop on a plane and I'm on South Beach by 10 o'clock at night.
That's crazy.
It's such
That's
a weird, such a weird feeling to go from sitting at a desk, having a customer just asking me questions about a lift kit or tires, and then I go to South Beach. It's such a weird transition sometimes in the same 24-hour period to go from one to the other.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's what I love about traveling is you can hop on a plane and be somewhere crazy and see Vegas to a lot of people is probably fake. You know what I mean? If you've never been there, it may not even be a real place. You know what I mean? But until you go and see it becomes real. It becomes, and it definitely doesn't look like what people think it is.
No.
I always think of The Hangover.
That's not at all what it looks like. I remember I flew in the last time was at night, so I flew in at night. I couldn't see anything, and then I got to my hotel, and then it was really late. So when I woke up in the morning, I don't know why. I'm usually pretty well versed on geography. I'm interested in that, but I never really thought about it, or I kind of forgot. And it's mountains and desert, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm always just thinking Vegas, the Strip,
Yeah,
but
that's all you think.
It's it's crazy.
You think of Bellagio and casino, and you think of, and the Strip is only a 2 or 3 miles.
Oh, it's nothing. It's a little, condensed area.
This big, almost fishbowl of mountains and desert, and it just, I don't know. Being from Florida, I never see mountains anyway.
So the contrast of obviously arriving in somewhere weird like that, within a 24-hour span, or even in my case, it's or when you fly somewhere, 5 hours difference, and it's a whole other. A whole other world.
The time change. This is my first time really dealing with a time change, and it's messing me up.
You're Eastern, right?
Yeah.
Atlanta? Yeah, same. So
It's messing me up so bad.
It's
right
more.
now.
I've always found it worse when you get back. It's when you get back.
If it's worse when I go back, I'm gonna have a rough time.
Because you're just awake.
Yeah.
Just awake. It's 11 or midnight. You got work the next day, and you're not.
I'm in bed by 10 o'clock every night.
Yeah. You won't be. You'll see. It's gonna be messed up.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Because it's been a rough time for me. The hottest. So being from the Southeast, I've always thought that the humid heat was the worst.
Right.
When I went to Texas with Fury,
Texas is
worse.
another
I was
world.
Humbled. Absolutely humbled. I spent a whole day in the hotel because my head hurt so bad.
Oh.
Never experienced anything like it.
Yeah, Texas is wild. Just ripping, just sun, just ripping. Yeah, it's
I've been blessed enough to travel a lot this year. It's been so I work at a shop, right?
Right.
Kind of like you do, and I spend 10 hours a day at the shop. I travel hour and a half to 2 hours to get to and from work every day. It's 65 miles.
Okay.
I love what I do. I love the shop, but I've been traveling a lot with the guys from Miami. I've been to New York, Atlantic City, Orange Beach, Orlando, Miami, obviously, Houston, Tennessee, and then now Vegas. So, I mean, I've hit just about every corner other than LA or something like that. And that's all just within one calendar year. I've really never traveled before then.
That's a
so
big.
It's to go from just sitting at a desk and filming what comes into the shop every day last year to really just sitting down and having a conversation and saying, what can we do? the relationships that I've built mean the world to me because they allow me to do those things. You know, you don't have to have money. You don't have to have really anything. It's just relationships are everything.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, as far as relationships go, I'm glad to have met you, man.
Absolutely.
Sick. We'll go do a walk around and we'll go check everything out.
We need episode 2. Can we get episode 2 over here? Because
I'm not the production boss. You got to ask Boss Frank on that one.
Frank,
But,
I'm looking in the camera. Looking at the camera at you,
post,
Frank.
We could do a post walk around. We can check out trucks.
We do that. Oh, we do a walk around too?
Yeah, we could do a walk around and then we'll discuss like the best and worst.
We can do that.
We can't say who the worst are because we don't want to make it feel bad.
No, we're not. That's one thing is on my channel. I never talk like I can have 2 companies side by side.
Sure.
I'm gonna find good things to say about everybody. You know.
Listen. If you're here, there might be a few things that you had to cut corners on, but
Yeah.
for the bulk, the trucks, everything, cars, everything's amazing. So.
Bad publicity is still good publicity. I'm standing on
Yeah,
that.
absolutely, for sure. Guys, man, it was great having you. See you soon. Yeah, take it easy, buddy.
Absolutely.
Later.
Thank you.